a text in show where people are texting in to ask me questions. I am Don DeRosia, and I play Gun Borden on the Call Me Gun internet show. We're getting a lot of popularity and a lot of traction out there, and it's great to interact and ask and hear questions and answer them live here. You may be watching a rebroadcast of this, and that's fine. We have fans all over the world, and we're kind of happy about that. So texts are coming in already, so we'll get right to that right now. Feel free to text us next time we do one of these live, because there's always questions that our viewers have, and I'm happy to address them. We have someone from Moonachie, New Jersey. Is it okay to call me Don? Yeah, it is. That is my name. What is a hobby of yours that you would suggest Gun to take up? Flying. I happen to be a pilot. I've been a pilot for, it'll be 30 years in November, and there's no better way to escape the world than to fly. When when COVID hit, people were talking about social distancing, and I said, let me social distance the real way, and I'll get the hell with 6 feet apart. I'm going to get a mile away from the whole world, and I'd get up in my airplane and fly away. So that fits Gun Borden's personality. Get in an airplane and fly. Ronnie M. from Dallas, Texas. Thanks for taking my question. Gun is a younger man in the script, but you play Gun better than he is written. I like him older and a little rough around the edges. My plan to move his character, any plans to move his character in that direction? Well, it's a good question about Gun. When my partner and I, JD, came up with a character Gun, and we planned to market it as a major motion picture. And one of the things that we felt like we needed to do is have an actor, like thinking of an actor. This is the guy that we think of. Everybody says that. If there's a movie made about you, who would play you? And so who would play Gun Borden? And we could never come up with anything. We could never come up with a person. And when I first came up with the thought that this should be not a motion picture, or not a motion picture initially, I just read the part of Gun Borden, and it was like an audio file. And when JD heard it, I remember talking to him on the phone, and he said, "No wonder we couldn't find an actor to play Gun Borden. You're Gun Borden. It's you. You're Gun Borden. That's the persona. That's what we've been looking for. That's why we couldn't find an actor to play Gun Borden, because you're Gun Borden." So we had envisioned Gun Borden to be this 35-year-old, and I'm a couple of months older than that. So there's definitely been a metamorphosis as far as his age is concerned. And JD and I have never really talked about that. And, in the show, obviously, Lisa Burrows is a lot younger than me, and we're just letting it fly. We're letting that be. So I don't know that we have any hardcore plans about, well, is he going to become more aged? Are we going to rewrite anything? I don't think either one of those things have been talked about. We're just going to see what happens. We got another call in from Sam, 4688 from Harrison, Maine. You are not an actor, but the vPlay format suits you. How did you come up with that format? Well, you're right. I'm not an actor because I'm kind of playing myself. It's like Charlie Sheen in 2.5 Men, right? He's not really an actor. He's just playing his decrepit self. Thanks for that. The vPlay format is working out very well. How do we come up with it? Kind of what I was starting to talk about just a minute ago. The whole everything that you see in Call Me Gun is a product of my and probably our impatience with Hollywood and trying to break into Hollywood. And I mean, we know that we have a very marketable product, but I don't think Hollywood really cares. They like to deal with the people that they know, and breaking in as an unknown is a Herculean task. It's awful. So one day I thought of it, well, you know what? Suppose I just made it an audio file. And I read the part of Gun, for lack of another option, just and I picked an AI bot to read Michelle the waitress, because it was the first scene. And I never said, I'm going to be Gun Borden, damn the torpedoes. It wasn't like that. I just did it. And that's when JD made the comment about, hey, wait a minute, you're Gun Borden. But anyway, so I thought of it as kind of a podcast. And I sent it to JD wondering, hey, what do you think? And his vision was entirely different. So the whole idea of the vPlay is his. Because he started talking about, hey, let's do, visuals and all that. And I said, well, it's fine. That's great. It's a different idea. It's not what I was thinking of. And it's fine. I like what he was thinking, but it was a different thing. And none of it precludes a major motion picture. I'm sure that as this continues to take off, Hollywood will say, wait a second, we should have looked into this. Hey, why didn't you come to us? And I'm going to say, no, it's not exactly how it is. You didn't listen to us. So we came up with it, we developed it, and we love what it is. And it's an entirely different way to tell a story, as we talk about. What's a bot? A bot is I guess it's an internet way to say robot, AI, artificial intelligence, bot, robot. So, and there are a lot of programs out there that will talk for you. Some of them not really that good, some of them pretty good. And I think we're using a really good program for that. And we don't want it to be, we wouldn't want it to sound exactly like a human. We could have paid actors, but that's not what we want. It's like if Jim Henson had said, "No, I'm not into the Muppets thing, into the puppets thing. I want real people." It would be a different product. It would be a different thing. So we want it to be slightly different. We want it to be like, I'm interacting with AI bots. I take things from them, I give them things, I talk to them, they talk to me, but they're not real. They're decidedly artificial intelligence robots. Peachtree Bob from Atlanta. If all existing copies of your scripts were lost, and you had to rewrite it, what are 3 things you would do to make it better? Wow. That's a heck of a question, Peachtree Bob. What 3 things that I do to make it better? That's a really good question. I'm gonna struggle with that one, because for one thing, at this point, I know the beginning, the middle, and the end, and I can't say that we did know that. We kind of had an idea of where the story was going. Bob, you might have stumped me with this question, because I feel like we did a good job with this. How would we have made it better? I might have to get back to that. Let me think about that while I talk about. I answer other questions. Bob, hang on. I will address that. Sugar Bill T, New York. You need a studio. When are you getting one? Can you tell me how long it takes to make each episode? We're going to get a studio when we have a steadier flow of income. Right now, all our income goes right back into the development of the product. The good news is that a good friend, a good friend's sister, let's say, and I do know her, so I just don't say she's a good friend. She's a good friend's sister. Her husband has a studio about 5 miles from here, and he's got a real cool studio. He gets nominated for a Grammy Award every single year. He never wins, but he goes to the Grammys every year, and it's kind of cool that he does that. But so when I feel like I need to upgrade and have a real live professional studio, I don't have to go far, and I don't have to find anybody. I already know them, so it's very doable. How long does it take to do each episode? It's getting better. It used to be that it would take me about 2 hours to do 1 minute, which is rough. I don't think it's much less than that now, but I do it a little bit more in a different way, that I don't do like every single thing in 1 minute and then go on to the next minute. So I just do it a little bit more methodically. So, but I still think that's a good rule of thumb. It's a tedious process. It's a big deal. Let's see. Rose 56 in Danbury, Connecticut. Do you like being Gun Borden? I mean, do you find yourself thinking in character often? Yeah, I told my wife I want to change my name to Gun Borden. She didn't like that too much. Do I like being Gun Borden? Gun Borden is partly me. Initially, the lead character was somebody entirely different than Gun Borden. And then as I started to write it, he started to become more like me, or more like I wish I was, or more how I hoped people saw me as. And one day I was, JD is responsible for Victor. And I felt like I wanted to be able to muscle down Sturgis. So I envisioned him being the winner in a Victor Gun Borden showdown. And I knew that Gun was going to have to be powerful and muscular in a not in a physical sense, but in a metaphorical sense. So he had to become a different guy, and he has morphed, from a guy that is not happy with where his dream is, to becoming a more confident guy. And meeting Lisa Burrows does help his confidence, and she helps him along because she doesn't think his idea is stupid. It doesn't necessarily encourage him, but she supports him. And then as the story progresses, you'll see that he becomes more and more powerful and tougher. And so yes, I love Gun Borden. And it's funny when you really give birth to these characters, you know everything about them. You know where they went to school, you know what they think of their parents, and they're not real. But I know everything about Lisa. Lisa was born in Richmond, Virginia. She inherited her parents' house in River Falls. She moved there, and you know everything about her. She went to school for film, and you just know so many things about her. And she's insecure in relationships because she's so beautiful that everybody jumps to her because, oh yeah, I'd love you and I want to marry you. Yeah, because you just see what's on the outside, and she's learned to expect that and fight that off, going like, you don't know me, you don't love me, you just love what you see, you don't know what's inside. So anyway, I digress. Okay, Flip the Ace 111 Las Vegas. Dude, doesn't Doesn't Gun Borden own any other clothing? I wonder about that. I wonder what I should do about that. And please comment, anybody that's listening, please comment on what you think I should do about that. The clothes that I wear all have a purpose. Okay, they're part of the signature. I'm a Porsche fanatic, so I wear a Porsche hat. And there are a few. I have 3 or 4 Porsche hats. The watch is a Rolex because I'm a watch collector, and it is a Batman Rolex, and that's significant because there are comic book references throughout the story. The lapel pin is a Secret Service lapel pin. I have a relative in the Secret Service. The boutonniere is wood. I like wearing boutonnieres, and the reason it's wood is because I'm a woodworker. I have been since I was 10 years old. I wear a sport jacket because my father always did. That's how he dressed. He always wore a sport jacket. Didn't wear a tie, just wore a sport jacket. I used to work for Titleist, so I wear a FootJoy, golf glove. I don't play golf, but it's a good company. I thought I'd wear a glove, just things like that. I wanted to wear the same thing because I obviously don't film them all at the same time, so for continuity purposes, I wear the same. And I wondered if I should suddenly change it. And feel free to comment. I'm open to it. I do have lots of clothes. Peachtree Bob from Atlanta decides to throw me a softball. This is going to be good because I knew he threw me a hardball before. If you write a sequel, what did you learn from writing the first script that will help you write the sequel better, faster, and tighter? Well, Bob, I'm going to throw you a curveball because sequel 2 and sequel 3 are written. I've been a writer for 30 years, and I've written 14 books. And by the way, 3 screenplays. Only this one was written with JD, and it is the best one. But the novels were all written, before we wrote this screenplay, and they are great. There's a murder mystery set in Martha's Vineyard, a place where I used to live, and then there's a robbery, the Great Cruise Ship Casino robbery, set on a cruise ship. And I've been on over 4 dozen cruise ships. And those are easily adaptable. That is, Gun goes on a cruise with Lisa, or he vacations on Martha's Vineyard where there's a murder. So adapting those into a vPlay will be, I'm trying not to say easy because it's not easy. These are difficult, but doable. So we can do that. What did you learn from writing the first script that will help you write the sequel better, faster, and tighter? We already know the beginning, middle, and end, which we didn't know when we wrote Call Me Gun. So we wrote Call Me Gun on the fly, and we added components to say, hey, wait a minute, let's add some intrigue, let's add some government intervention, let's add a villain. So we threw in Sturgis. All those components are already in Guilty Until Proven Innocent. So I think it's tight, and I think it's there. So I like where it is. I think that they are cleaner, faster, better already. Okay, so he says, what about the process? No notes, no planning, no charts. That must have been hard. I remember when JD and I first started collaborating, he was kind of surprised at how I write. And my sister, my older sister, is also a collaborator. An author. She writes children's books. And she came to me and she said, Don, she goes, what software do you use to write? And I said, I use Microsoft Word. And she expected that I was going to say that I use this writer software, and there's I guess some products out there that she had heard about, and I suppose that they have certain tools like for an outline or what, I don't know what they are. But JD was surprised that the way that I write, which is to just get in there, because what I do is I write in my head first, which is probably why I'm having a difficult time answering you, Peachtree Bob, because I do it differently than other people. I write in my head, and then when I'm ready, all the words just pour down my arms and out through my fingertips and onto a keyboard, and they spew out, and the story is there. It starts in my head, and it spews out onto the keyboard, and it's unconventional, I guess. JD was sure that I would write an outline and do that, and if we had written an outline, it would have been in the trash can within 6 months, because nothing is like it was planned. Nothing. Originally, Gun Borden was named Joey Hickman's Cleaners, and he was kind of a dweeb, and he was totally different. And when I tried to make him be tough and a formidable adversary for Victor Sturgis, he couldn't be that. So JD came up with, hey, he's going to be a different guy, and he's going to be Gun Borden. And because I had this idea to make him a tough guy is the wrong guy, is the wrong name. In fact, somebody just said Gun isn't tough enough. Yeah, he's not a tough guy, but he understands the difference between right and wrong. So if he's going to be tougher, certainly tougher than what we had imagined in Joey Hickman years ago, they had to be he had to be a different person. It was too much of a metamorphosis to go from what we imagined originally Joey Hickman to be what I imagined Gun Borden to be. It was way out there, way too much. It would be 3 sequels from now could he possibly have changed into be that much of a tough guy. Roger Dodger 2024 in Hoboken says Gun isn't tough enough, brilliant enough, or handsome enough to be a leading man. He seems an unlikely star. What do you see in him that makes him a star in your eyes? Good question, and I got a great answer. I'm a huge Columbo fan, and Columbo fits exactly that, because Columbo is not brilliant enough, handsome enough to be a leading man. Now, I don't think of Columbo when I'm being Gun Borden. I don't. But I've been a fan. I've seen all 69 episodes at least 10 times each, more like probably 30 times each. But some of the newer ones I haven't seen that often. But he's not tough. He doesn't seem brilliant, but he is brilliant. And he's certainly not handsome enough to be a leading man. And he's certainly an unlikely star. What do I see in him? I see an unlikely star. Kind of down in kind of in the background, but just making enough of an impression to make all the difference in the world. So his superpower is his unflinching, perfect moral compass. He doesn't have that, actually. In the end, you're going to find The end is brilliant. Sorry, can I say that? We have, at the very ending, there's what JD and I call the whodunit scene. And by the end, you know everybody's gig. You know what people are doing. But Gun imparts his own brand of justice on everyone. So does he have this perfect moral compass? Actually not. He imparts his own brand of justice, which is a great ending. He doesn't turn everybody in and call the cops. He doesn't do that. So the ending is awesome. Sam in Harrison, Maine again says, what does Lisa see in him? She knows that he's different. Yes, he's attracted to her, and she knew that right away, but she was attracted to him as well. And it wasn't the kind of attraction that was typically for her. It wasn't typical for her. She tends to not single out guys and go like, yeah, you're my guy. And that's because she knows that if she does that, everybody will be like, oh yeah, I'm your perfect guy. And look at me, I'm great, and you're gorgeous. She likes how he is authentic. That's what she sees, his authenticity. That's the answer to your question. You can call me Jay in Illinois, but wasn't Lisa doing the other chick at the dealership? Funny you say that. No, actually not. I've been asked that before. So Cindy Payton happens to be a lesbian, and we did have a character that was her wife. I don't know. I'll have to ask JD that next time I talk to him. I don't know if we had Cindy married to this other girl at the dealership, but we killed her off like, I don't know, 6-8 months ago. I don't remember when. A long time ago, all of a sudden she just disappeared. We didn't have enough for her to do. So she was gone. But Lisa and Cindy are definitely friends, and they have a very good relationship at work, but it does stop there. And Lisa's a professional at work. She really is. She really cares about her job. And Vinny took a new step forward in episode 3, where he became, I don't know if he became desperate to get close to her, but it's not like he was like so lecherous every day. But suddenly he decided, I'm going to take this leap forward and be a real snake. So it's not like that has been going on, but she's really had enough of him, Kyle from Hartford, you mentioned JD a few times. It seemed like he added to the project. How would the project be different if he was not involved? It wouldn't exist. So JD has a background in film and cinema, and he's a perfectionist, and he really pushes me to make things better, and that's really good. It's not that I'm oblivious to mistakes is the wrong word, but I don't sweep mistakes under the rug. But he sees things that I don't see, and that's really, really useful in a project like this. For example, I'll work on an episode, and I'll really work on it. It'll take. I'll work on it for 2-3 weeks, and then I'm literally fried with this, and I can't watch it anymore. And even if I did, I would miss things. Then I'll send it to him, and he'll find like 15 things wrong. And it'll be little things. volume not right, ghost image, or something. I mean, stupid things. And then, I'll fix them in, an hour. And then it'll be right there. And he's very imaginative when it comes to certain plot points. He came up with Emilio Corvo, for example, and Cassandra. That's all him. And he'll plant a seed, and I'll run with it. And we complement each other. I mean, the whole idea of the whodunit scene was mine, and he'll play off that. So we're a good team. I mean, we haven't seen each other in like 10 years, but we talk on the phone practically every day. So it's a really good partnership. I'm a writer. He's a perfectionist. Together, we wrote a perfect script, and we're working on a perfect project. It's really a totally different thing. And we've been wanting to do something different. We definitely want to copy anybody, because I don't think anybody is capable of doing what we're doing, to be honest. Clarice in Nashville, can you tell us what Maxine Cleaneth Thrift actually is? Well, one of the things that JD and I have worked on in the past, I'm an executive in the dry cleaning industry. Well, I'm a retired executive in the dry cleaning industry. And JD knows this, and that's how we became acquainted like 25 years ago. So, and we always wanted to do something together, because the dry cleaning industry as a whole has been on the steady, gradual decline for about 20 years. So, and simultaneously, there's been a cottage industry of, gently used clothing being resold. Trying to think of what the brands are. Stitch Fix, I think, is one of them. I forget what they are. Thread Up, things like that. So, people are paying, literally pennies on a dollar for high-end clothing. And so Maxine is fictitious. But we think that we may start an industry when people get a load of this. So what Maxine has done, our fictitious character Maxine Regal, is familiar with this issue, and she takes a dry cleaning shop that has a piece count that has declined steadily over 25 years, doing maybe half the pieces that it did 20 years ago, and turned it into a combination, for lack of a better term, thrift shop and / dry cleaner. So you can go there and do your normal dry cleaning work, and at the same time, people drop off clothing that they don't want anymore. They clean them and then also sell them. So in the story, Maxine unscrupulously, I probably shouldn't go here, but manages a way to own these dry cleaning stores. So I don't want to go there, but it's a great part of the story. It's a great part of the story. So, but Maxine plays. I always think of Maxine as raven hair, ruby lips, sparks fly from her fingertips, right from the Eagles song. But anyway, okay. Clarice asked before we go, can you tell us what we should look for in the script? I'll tell you what, there's so much to look for in the script, because I can tell you that Lisa and Gun, their relationship will continue to develop. We have not seen the last of Vinnie Picard. We have not seen the last of Arthur. You will see Vinnie's bosses come into play. And, well, we have not seen the last of Victor. So there's a lot going on. We are just getting good. It's time for me to go, and I want to thank you all for listening in today. This has been great. I really enjoy these conversations because it gives me an opportunity to talk about what we do here at Call Me Gun, and it's this is a great ride for us. We're having a really, really good time at Dream Ride Studios bringing this to you. We have a lot to say. We have a lot to do. So see you all later. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great day. I'm Don DeRozier. Call me Gun. Bye.